Good morning. I'm in the midst of my marathon training for the Suffolk County Marathon that takes place on October 22nd. So got a very long run today. We'll see how long I actually go. But I'm weighed down with water and energy gels and it look like I'm getting ready for a extended stay here. So also trying out a new pair of shoes today, which is, we'll see how that goes on such a long run. But after I just did that gait analysis, I noticed that I had some overpronation that I'm looking to help with, especially on a long run like this. So I actually picked up a couple pairs of stability shoes. Today I'm wearing the Asics Kayano 29. So it'll be my first time giving these a shot. They have Flight Foam Blast Plus in the forefoot, which is Asics bouncy foam that they put in the Nova Blast. And then they have some stability elements. It's definitely a heavy shoe, but it's very comfortable. It has a nice step-in feel. But we'll see how these do today on this longer run. Over 2.5 miles into this run. Finally, it's not incredibly hot. It's like 60 something this morning, so this is fantastic right now. But first impressions of this shoe. Basically, I'm looking for this shoe to be a Toyota Camry or a Honda Accord, where it's not going to turn heads. It's fine looking, but also not the fastest, but reliable, not going to break down, will get you from A to B and be durable. So that's really what I'm looking for in this shoe. One that I can put a lot of miles in, that'll be durable, comfortable, and stable. And so far it's doing all those things. There's a little bit of a rocker in there, helps with the smooth transitions. My heel is locked in really nice in this shoe. I can feel that the forefoot is softer with the Blast Plus foam in there, and the heel is a bit firmer foam, but that's actually a good thing from a stability standpoint. So I'm gonna keep going here. We'll see how it goes. So 15 miles down in the Kayano 29, and I think I picked the perfect shoe for this run today. This is exactly what this is designed to do. It's a stable shoe. It has smooth transitions. It's comfortable, it's padded. It's good for those long distance runs. It's also heavy. It doesn't feel as heavy on foot as it actually is. I think in my size it's 13 point something ounces. I'll weigh that when I get back home. But the transition in here, the rocker is nice and smooth. The Flight Foam Blast Plus in the forefoot gives you a little bit of sink in and bounce, but it's nowhere near as bouncy as it is in the Nova Blast. So it's still a firm shoe overall. It's a little bit stiff just because of the stability elements that are in there. The heel cup has a plastic piece that wraps around for some stiffness and support in the heel. Your heel kind of sits down into the shoe a little bit. It's cupped in there, kind of like a bucket seat. So I had zero heel lift, zero rubbing. Very comfortable shoe overall. The upper is kind of like a thick mesh. It's kind of almost like a sweatshirt, like material. It's not really a thin mesh, so this would be a good shoe for winter running. I think it'd be rather warm, but in the summer it's not as breathable. There's another stability element in there where sometimes they put like a shank in the side of the shoe. This one, it's called Light Truss, and it basically just looks like it's a little bit firmer version of the midsole there. It's not very evident. Like if you were looking at this shoe, you wouldn't know it's a stability shoe. It doesn't have a big piece sticking out there, but it definitely does its job. I didn't feel any pronation on that long run. Just kind of comfortable, smooth, ticking along, but also at no time did I want to turn up the pace in these shoes. They're definitely not a type of shoe for that. But basically what I was looking for these to be for me is a long run shoe, a daily shoe that would be comfortable, stable, and help prevent injuries from overpronation. And I think 100% this accomplishes that. I also picked up the Saucony Guide 15s. I got those for less than $50, which was a great deal. Those are a little bit lighter than these. I think those are closer to 10 ounces. So they're a little bit lighter. I thought those would actually encourage me to run a little bit faster, so that may be more of like a tempo type stability shoe for me. I didn't want to take them on this run because I wanted to run the slower paces that I ran today. So I'll give some stats on this run and some additional details, but overall first impression of these is exactly what I thought they would be. A stable, comfortable shoe that's not going to win any speed or looks contest, but it's just going to get the job done. So I'll get into some stats from that run. Ended up completing 15 miles in about 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I was out there for a long time. At least it was cooler that morning, but it was still humid out there. Most importantly, I was able to accomplish the goal of that run, which is to be on my feet for a long time, going a slower pace, and maintaining a lower heart rate to build some more of that long distance endurance. Now, I have not tried to really run fast in this shoe yet, but I'm not really looking forward to doing so. It is a little bit heavier compared to a lot of the shoes that I have. It is actually decently flexible in the forefoot. It's easy to bend here. The midsole is softer in the front of the shoe where the Flight Foam Blast Plus is located, running from the front all the way back here. There is some rocker shape to it, so if you land a little bit further back and roll through on your stride, it's nice and smooth. It's also very stiff in the heel counter. This thing is not going anywhere. It's nice and padded around there though. It's nice and plush when you step in. The tongue is also very plush and padded, so it's comfortable in the upper here. But you might notice too, there's perforations in this part of the upper, but there's not really any in the front. So this is definitely a warm shoe to run in. It has that thick padding all around, a little bit of perforations here, but for a hot summer day, this is not the type of shoe you want to wear, but I'm looking forward to using this in the winter. It'll keep my feet nice and toasty. Also, you have that light truss here where it's the firmer foam in the back, and you have some plastic wrapping around the back here to further reinforce that heel. It's super sturdy in the heel. I'm experiencing no pronation in this shoe. It really does a great job of keeping that heel nice and stable and preventing you from overpronating. This shoe also has a nice wide platform throughout, wide in the forefoot, the midfoot, and the heel, and has a generous application of that Asics AHAR Plus rubber, which is a very durable rubber compound. I think Asics and Puma really have two of the best outsoles going right now, where they're very grippy and very durable. I thought it would be good to compare the kind of silhouette of this shoe to the Magic Speed 2, which is another one that I got recently, just to show the big disparity of Asics between their own models. So this one is a carbon-plated racing shoe. It also has Flight Foam Blast Plus in the forefoot, but it's a higher stack. But this one you can see is a much more narrow shoe. It's narrow in the midfoot here, and you can see how much of that upper hangs over. This is one that I really did experience a lot of overpronation in because it's so stiff, and then it's narrow in the midfoot and heel. Whereas this one, you can see there very little of the upper showing over there. This is an incredibly stable part of the shoe that really helps prevent that overpronation, but this is so heavy in hand compared to this one. This is like a feather compared to this shoe. Now, obviously, they have completely different purposes. This is meant to be a daily trainer. It's meant to be durable and stable, whereas this is meant for tempo sessions and racing and going fast. And this wants you to have more of a forefoot landing and strong ankles. A nice neutral runner can really take advantage of this shoe. But if you're subject to overpronation, the upper of this shoe, the narrowness of it is something that could cause issues for you. It's interesting to see what different manufacturers have been doing lately to kind of modernize stability shoes. This is kind of what I would more traditionally think of with the stability shoe. This is the Guide 14 from Saucony, and you can see on the inside here it has that big plastic piece. It's a much heavier shoe. It's got a lot of rubber coverage on the outsole there, so it's very stable, but this shoe I find to be very firm. This has Saucony's Power Run foam, and so does the shoe that I just got, the Guide 15, but this is a completely different formulation of Power Run. It's a lot softer, it's a lot bouncier, it's a lot more comfortable. And here, they have some support on the medial side there, but it's more like a smaller plastic piece with more of the regular foam below it and around it, as opposed to this one where it cuts out that whole section for that big piece. So this shoe feels much more nimble, much faster, much bouncier. I am going to do a review of this one soon, and I'm going to compare these two. That's something too where I had this one for a while. I got it on a really good price. I think I got it for like $40, but I've only worn it a handful of times because I was like, all right, it is a little bit stable, but it's big and heavy, and I just wasn't getting a lot of enjoyment out of running in it. Saucony has really improved that shoe a lot with this version of it. So I'll do another video soon. I'll do a stability showdown, kind of comparing this one and the two Saucony shoes there. Another one that's on my list that I'd really like to give a try now too is the Saucony Tempest, which has their higher end Power Run PB foam in there that's in the Speed and the Endorphin Pro, but that one's kind of wrapped in a carrier foam, so it has more of that explosive kind of light foam. That could be a racing alternative for someone who needs stability shoes. So as far as this Asics shoe, buy it weight or second rate. As far as full price, it's $160, which is expensive, but also that seems to be the price of max cushion shoes and stability shoes that have that extra technology in there. But Asics recently came out with the 30, which is a completely redesigned model of this shoe. So I was able to get these for less than $80, and at that price, I think this shoe is going to last hundreds of miles. It's basically a tank. This thing is so sturdy, so stable, really sturdy in the heel. Really good outsole coverage here as well. So I'm expecting to get several hundreds of miles in this shoe in comfort and stability. So it does exactly what it's supposed to do. I'm not going to use it for tempo runs, but for those easy miles, those long miles, staying stable and secure, this is an excellent shoe for that. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so that YouTube will care that I'm here. So if you're watching these videos and haven't subscribed yet, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.